Hey guys, this is Mr. Davis. In this video, we are going to be talking about combining like terms. There's two big hints here to keep in mind when you're combining like terms. First, you'll want to make sure that you rewrite the problem into standard form. After every step of combining like term, you're going to rewrite into standard form. And then finally, you make sure that you do just one step at a time. Go really slow through these problems. It will make all the difference in the world. Let's get started. Write it. Alright, so let's take a look at this problem right here. This problem says 2 plus 3x plus 5 equals 13. Do you notice that it says 2 and plus 5? Those are just both normal numbers. They're called constants. They're just normal numbers. They have no variable connected to them. They are like terms. I can combine those together. What I like to do is I like to circle the like terms that I'm about to combine. So let's see, I've got 2, and I've got this positive 5. Did you notice that the positive 5 has more information in it than just the 2? See, with positive 5, I know that it's a positive value. With this 2, it's ambiguous. Is it a positive 2 or is it a negative 2? There's nothing written there in the front of the 2 to tell me whether it's positive or negative. Do you know? Yeah, it's positive. If there's nothing written there, we always assume that it's a positive 2. If it's a negative 2, we'll always write the negative in front of it. So now, what this problem really said all along was positive 2, positive 3x, positive 5 equals positive 13. I can add in those positives at any point, and my math will still be correct. This is really basic right here. I've got positive 2 and positive 5. Those can just combine together. What is positive 2 plus 5? Or positive 2 and positive 5? Well, positive 2 plus 5 is 7. And so now I'm going to rewrite my problem. And I'm going to write 3x plus 7. Those two numbers combine to make 7. Notice, please, that I put the x's, the things with letters, in front of my numbers that don't have letters. So my variables came before my constants. That is part of putting the problem into standard form, or the most regular format that lets us solve it easily. The equals 13 can come on down, and from there this is a very simple problem. Minus 7, 3x equals 6. Divide both sides by 3, x equals 2. A lot of the time people want to know how exactly they're supposed to show their work. What can they get rid of so that they can go as fast as possible? And I'll show you. You don't need this. You do not need at all any of the work about how you combined. You're welcome to, but you don't need it. You also don't need any of this little dash thing right there. That's not necessarily needed. Technically, you don't need to circle the things that you're combining. I just recommend that you do so. And for the beginning part of the year, I'm going to encourage all of my students to do that because it's going to keep it all correct in their brains. So, at a minimum, this is the work that you should show on the problems. Let's see if you can do it now. This problem says 3x minus 4 minus 2x equals 9. Can you solve this problem by combining like terms? Hit pause, and when you're ready to check your answer, hit play. Alright, let's do it. I'm going to work in a different color, and let's see. I've got a 3x, and I've got a minus 2x. Those both have the letter x in it. Those are both variables. I can combine those like terms. To help my poor brain out, I'm going to add the plus sign in front of this 3x. Remember, if nothing's written down in front, then we can assume that it is positive. So this is a positive 3x and a negative 2x, or in other words, I've got 3x minus 2x. Well, 3x's minus 2x's is 1x. Kind of like 3 apples minus 2 apples is 1 apple. And that's my combined like terms step right there. My minus 4 can just come right on down, and that equals 9. Now this right here, this funky little 1, that is not necessary. You can absolutely just erase that 1 or scribble it out. You do not need it to be there. If you want it there, that's just fine. But an x by itself means 1x. That's why it's by itself. From there, I'm just going to solve my problem real quick. I'm going to add 4 to both sides. And x equals 13 is the answer. Alright, try this one. Hit pause, and then hit play when you're ready to check your answer. Negative 2 and positive 5 are like terms. Notice that there's no letters in either of those. There are no variables. These are both constants, so I can combine them together. And let's see, negative 2 plus 5. Negative 2 plus 5 is positive 3. And if that's hard for you, you can go ahead and use it in a calculator, positive 3. Now I'm going to rewrite everything else, just bring it all down. I'm only going to do one step at a time, even though it looks like there's more combining like terms to be done in this problem. So I rewrote everything one step at a time, but I did not put this problem in standard form. Can you tell why this is not in standard form? Yeah, look right here. I've got a constant in front of variables. Standard form has all variables listed before any of the constants. So let's go ahead and erase that work, and let's rewrite it with my variables first, 8x minus 3x, and then my constant, negative 2 plus 5 was a positive 3 equals 13. Well, let's see, 8x minus 3x can combine to make 5x plus 3 equals 13. And then from there, I can just solve the problem. The opposite of plus 3 is minus 3. 5x equals 10. Divide both sides by 5. X equals 2 is the answer. All right, try this one. Hit pause, and then hit play when you're ready to check your answer. All right, let's start by combining negative 3x and negative 2x. I actually prefer to start by combining my variables and leaving my constants till the end. Negative 3x and negative 2x makes negative 5x. Again, if these are hard or tricky for you, please use a calculator for right now. I've got some strategies to make it easier for you, but I don't want you to worry too much about it. Just use a calculator for right now. So I combined my x variables, and everything else comes down. I do one step at a time. That also makes it easier for me to point out any little mistakes you make. And here we go. I've got a positive 4 and a positive 6, and those can combine to make a positive 10. And everything else just gets rewritten in standard form. And from here, the problem's ready to be solved. Use inverse operations. Negative 5x equals 60. The opposite of times negative 5 is a divide by negative 5. And I get x equals negative 12 as the answer. All right, one more nice and long. Holy cow. Can you do this problem? Go ahead and hit pause and then hit play when you're ready to check it. All right, again, I'm going to start with my variables, which is a negative 3x and a positive 8x. Negative 3x plus 8x is 5x. And that can go away. Everything else can just come on down. Just rewrite the problem in standard form. So I put my letter, my variable, on the far left, and everything else I just rewrite. So that's a positive 2, a negative 5, and a negative 2 equals 80. Now, just because I'm combining like terms doesn't mean I have to combine the two things that are close to each other. I actually think it makes a lot of sense to combine the positive 2 and the negative 2 next. Positive 2 minus 2 is 0. 2 minus 2 is 0, right, guys? So that's going to be a 5x. 0, but I don't need to write 0 because it's nothing. Those went away, and I can just rewrite the minus 5. That was cool. That saved me a little bit of work. If you don't want to do it that way, you don't have to. Let me do it the other way, just in case that way isn't something that you like. I'm going to combine the positive 2 and the negative 5, just because they're by each other this time. I'm going to get 5x. Positive 2 minus 5 is negative 3. The other minus 2 comes on down, equals 80. So I guess I got another step, because now I need to combine the negative 3 and the negative 2, and that makes negative 5. But it's all good. We're not in a hurry here. The number one mistake, or the number one causes of mistakes, is rushing. When people rush through problems, that's when they get it wrong. If you go nice and slow and show every single step, usually students will get it perfect. Let's see, the opposite of minus 5 is plus 5 on both sides. 5x equals 85. Divide both sides by 5, and x equals 17. Again, you're welcome to use a calculator. Good job, guys.